Hey guys, it's Tyrone, and I just saw The Vivitch and I liked it, kinda, sorta, maybe. Now, I must admit I don't have a particular fondness for the 1990 film, as until yesterday I'd never seen it before in full, and I'd read the book as a child. So I'll give a quick review of the 1990 one. It's pretty fine, it ain't perfect, but Angelica Houston and Jim Henson's puppetry are incredible despite some of the other performances not being as great. But it's definitely a really good movie to trick kids into watching and then scaring the shit out of them. But onto the new one. So this film was directed by Bob Zemeckis, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, Castaway, all that. So I was intrigued. Anne Hathaway, Chris Rock, Octavia Spencer, and the Tooch, they're all good. And so was the main kid. I'll start off with the good of this movie. I loved how messed up the film was. It was co-written by Guillermo del Toro, and it definitely shows. And although maybe it wasn't as visually disturbing as the original, it definitely had some of those disturbing themes and implications. However, it doesn't resonate with you as much as the original, like in that scene where the Grand Eye Witch reveals herself, or the story of the grandma's friend getting lost in the painting. The alternates for this film, they were very weak and lacked that punch. Also, I did like that the characters were fully fleshed out, and the car crash wasn't just like simply brushed over like old Roald Dahl books. Like, you remember that bit in James and the Giant Peach where they just say in one sentence his parents were gobbled up by a rhino? Yeah. But this film was really good in just expanding the characters, and you cared for them by the time that shit hit the fan. However, that's about it for the good. Now, the bad, I hate to start off like this, but Anne Hathaway. Now, we've already seen one massive actor embarrass themselves this year, and while it's not as bad as that, this is pretty bad as well. She's so over the top in a way that I can't exactly explain. However, to the best of my ability, the accents and movements and exaggerations, they just weren't fun to watch like when Angelica Houston did it. I get that she's having fun with it, but she was always at an 11 and never toned it down once. The CGI is a thing that wasn't terrible, but was very clearly fake, and when you compare it with Jim Henson's brilliant puppetry, it just can't compete in its horror and brilliance, like when the Grand High Witch is morphed with a mouse. And unfortunately, in this film, it had this annoying reliance on inserting a digital effect in as much as possible, because I guess it would be easier but more expensive. Now, Bob Zemeckis definitely knows how to craft that blockbuster, but unfortunately, I hate that I have to say this as a negative, but Alan Silvestri's score doesn't match the tone of the film. Now, he has done some of my favorite themes of all time: Back to the Future, Predator, Forrest Gump, and of course the Avengers. And I get that he's fresh off these massive blockbusters, but this score was so over the top, and if it was a film about wizards fighting superheroes, it would be fine. However, if you were to listen to the score for the film without knowing what it was for, you would think it was a grand fantasy epic rather than a family comedy. I do think this film is better than I expected it to be, but I don't think it's going to age well. So while I did have an alright time watching it, this film bears no rewatchability. Unfortunately, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.